Okay, so here, you have Rittenhouse. Throwing up that sign, right? It's Proud Boys started up too. Some of the people I met at events in Washington D.C. and other places, probably at the Republican convention. Probably tons of people I met everywhere have thrown that up in one picture or another. I mess around with all that stuff, but truth is just 4 years ago, or 6 years ago maybe now, that gang sign was the 666. As you can see, there's a 6 and a 6 and a 6. But before that, thousands of years ago, that was actually the Christians used it at one point, but it comes from pre-Christianity. It comes from the Kohanim priests, which are the people Jesus actually talked about. So it's kind of weird that Christianity would take upon that symbol, but that's what that really comes from. And the cop with the knee on the neck, when he killed that black dude, he threw up this sign when he had his knee on his neck. And you'll see that appear in a lot of places. Like that's pretty much, representing the eye, and then you have some sunbeams out of it as well. And it comes from sun worship. And so you could technically say that's like NBC, they have the peacock, although the peacock has two meanings as well. But just because something has two meanings doesn't mean it doesn't have a whole bunch more. And so he is accused of throwing up the sign. And it's like, what is his actual DNA? He's throwing up white power signs, but like, man, I'm not many Europeans who look like that, to be honest. And see what I'm saying? Like, how many Europeans look like that? And so he's done this thing, and some people might say it's self-defense, and some people might say it's not. And when I went to Proud Boys in Portland, it's like, I don't know if any white people were there. It's like, but this is a Proud Boys sign, supposedly. It's the OK sign. It's like, seriously, and all these people should have known. The right wing knows that was 666 because they're the Christians, right? And Alex Jones and pals talk about that. Like, Alex Jones would have never said that. Alex Jones probably pointed out before when, like, George Bush or something threw that up, or anyone else, and like, that's the 666. As you can see, it could be many things. It's 666. There's an eye there. It's an eye of a bunny. It's a sun with a flare on it. I mean, likely that's the original meaning when it was used in sun worship. Although, there's not much really written on what happened before literacy was brought to the forefront by Christianity to the slave masses. So they're like, oh, that's okay, and but what's up with what's the alt-right anyways? How come they've erased the history of the alt-right and they've changed the meaning to things in this? How come that comes forward like that? And they're hoping journalists will uncritically look at the OK symbol. It's like people have been doing that forever. Like, like Madonna probably did that stuff, and back then it's like known as like illuminati stuff, and then Eminem probably did that stuff before. This is like 4 or 6 years ago they reappropriated the symbol, and shortly before that they had reappropriated it, and then before that, they reappropriate all this stuff all the time, like every few years. The internet is like so different from what it used to be. Look, you can't look stuff up because the Wayback Machine has worked with them on at least one thing I've seen, probably more that I just forget, where they've they've erased some of their Wayback stuff and replaced it with pages that don't exist anymore. But yet, if you saved the internet back then, like I did, you would have some of these old things that they've erased. That's really what I was trying to do, and I was trying to tell people to do that for 10 years, or I guess it's more like 12 years now. And I mean, things have changed. How do things change? See, that's like the problem here is how do things change like that? How do they just rewrite everything? And are they just rewriting the internet, or are they altering the entire world? Is the entire world just being altered? It looks like it to me sometimes, so I don't even look at it like it's just the internet is being altered. I look at it there's a lot more going on than just this basic stuff. It took me a long time and a lot of work to get from realizing the internet's being altered to there could be something else other than the internet being altered, like the actual physical world around us. And I had to travel far, and I don't know how much of this information I got is deception, but they definitely fed me information as things happened, and I was asking what was happening around me. And yeah, it's very. At first, I just thought it was this stuff, but then I noticed there's something else going on in the world, and it's not just internet censorship. It's like the world being changed and stuff, right? Like, you want me to look this up, I will look it up. Let's see. So we're looking for Christian hand signs, or let's look for pre Christian and signs. Look, we almost start with that, but that's not it, right? And that looks like it, but that's not it. So there should be a list here. Usually when I look this up, it brings up everything. What? Did you just see that smaller thing what he's looking at? Had it? I mean, pretty much all of these things are occupied and stuff, but when you find for some reason it's not pulling up the Pinterest hand sign right now. Right, here we go. See, Pinterest, see, I know what I'm talking about. Sometimes. And you have the Videkra Mudra, the intellectual argument discussion, the circle form of the thumb and the index finger is a sign of the wheel of law. And isn't that odd too that those groups are the law? And right here, actually, I guess this is one is more accurate because look how just small the difference makes. I've been shown all sorts of stuff, way more complex than this normal people can't make. I can't make the hand signs and stuff. Teaching the hand that is held at chest level and the thumb and the index finger again form the wheel of law. So yes, it's still the wheel of law. And look who it's being used by. And so they've taken upon that symbol. And technically the demon hand there is which demons are expelled. The heavy metal sign is technically, it's been reappropriated to mean the devil, and it means gestures with which the demons are expelled. And see, look, this is old. This comes from sun worship at the end of the day. I mean, which religion kind of isn't all part of the same thing, but I'm showing you they're reappropriating. They're kind of taking it back because it was 666 before that. Who knows? Maybe that means law. Maybe 666 means law and stuff. But it's old, very old. And it was known as an illuminati sign. You put your eye through it, right? You hold it up to your eye. You know how all the stars do that stuff. So they've reappropriated that symbol in the last 4 years, and they're they're like showing you when they do that what they're doing, and I'm not sure if they understand their allegiance, if they understand what it means more than 4 years ago. Because like I don't go around necessarily throwing up Crip gang signs. Even though it's been like 20 years since Crips were popular, because I wouldn't like necessarily want to go around throwing that up. I might joke around, I'll throw up whatever, but maybe this one says something. The circle game. It was the circle game before that. See, they were appropriating it every 4 years, so they turned it into a game. You were playing a game when you were a kid using the sun symbols. And another thing they've turned into a game is when you're using these. I made a video in Portland, and everyone's holding their hands up. Usually the things in there, but everyone's holding their hand like this, and the other hand like this. So they're doing the triangle, the Illuminati pyramid, and then you have the all-seeing eye in the middle of it. And then this is the chip here that they're now like trying to force people into using in order to get into businesses and establishments. You can't get into a bar without this verifying you got a vaccine or a paper. Yeah, papers, sure, whatever. And then the push towards cryptocurrency, and I can't even live without this because I need it to communicate. I need it to. I don't need to communicate really, but I need it for like discounts on food and stuff, so I can afford to eat if I eat, because I definitely couldn't afford to eat without it, and I definitely wouldn't find these places to stay without it. And then, like where I'm at right now, I can't go in the smoking room because I don't have vaccination, and there's special rules for me because I don't have vaccination. But just down the road and stuff, there's like places all over that they say they won't let you in without the vaccination. And then the government buildings in specific, some of them have signs showing the smartphone and talking about verifying that you're vaccinated with the smartphone. So they're really pushing towards that. I mean, this stuff is, something's happening. What are they going to do? Just cut back in a few months and and laugh at me and be like, oh, we did this all just to mess you up and destroy you. We were all involved in it. And so yeah, I'm just like, I'm just talking and making no sense, right?